So I'm back at it, trying to make some more improvements here, and the thing that has really been bogging me down and not making uh, uh, cool videos is this stupid ass front pulley from MTD. This is a stock pulley I use. I cut the modec off. I remember a few months ago when I was building this thing, I just very briefly showed you this, and it's back off because the problem with this, if you look at it, see how shiny all that is? That's my belt slipping on the actual pulley there. And it doesn't even, maybe I can go under and pull the belt and show you. It doesn't even grab half of it. A little blurry, but that's what I mean. See how there's spaces in the top and bottom? It doesn't even grab half the belt. It's supposed to really V-hug or whatever you want to call it. V-belt. It's supposed to hug, but this is some weird ass pulley and it's not doing it, so I'm not sure what was up with the MTD design because it grabbed the old MTD belt. I don't know if it was like a 3/8 or I doubt it was a 5/8 belt, but I'm going to cut the pulley off that, and I have a new, not that pulley, but I have the Tractor Supply pulley you were seeing that has disappeared, but I think it's up here somewhere. Doop. Right there, Tractor Supply pulley I'm going to weld and put back on. This one hugs it completely, 100%, totally well, you know, whatever. See how it's hugging a lot better. So there's a big difference there. I just wish my tractor came with a nice pulley in the first place, but this is a 4-inch, 3.5-inch stock. Might be a little less than 3.5-inch because of how deep it takes to get for the belt to seat. It's 3.5 inches from side to side, but it's probably like maybe 2.5 in the middle, and this is probably about 3 in the middle. You know, the inner diameter from point A to point B on the inside. So a little bit faster, probably not that noticeable, but as you can see, I picked this pulley out because if you cut this one off and you just have this big old dangle shaft right here, you can put this pulley on right here and weld it right on. So we can go ahead and do that. Onto this thing. Next problem is that I kind of cut this out once for a reason or two. And I cut this out and I re-welded it in. I think I'm going to cut these welds, pull this plate off, and clearance the new pulley. The new pulley is just a hair bit bigger. You can see that it's just a little bit bigger. This lip right here is the only part that's a little bit bigger than the stock pulley. So even though it is a 4-inch, it's just it really isn't that much bigger. So I think I'm gonna just cut around here a little bit and then move this whole assembly up so I kind of have a little bit more of a V on each side, so you'll see more of that. Okay, so I'm just going to use a socket that's obviously bigger than that. I'm going to set this on top and get it placed, maybe get maybe spin it on something. I might get a rod out or even one of these, like a crowbar. It looks pretty straight. So yeah, there it is. Tack it right on there, on top there, and yeah, it's really well seated on there. I probably don't even tack it. I can just do measuring now, so that's cool. Alright, so a little update, ladies and gentlemen. I took off what I said I was going to do. I retook this off, and I cut a notch right here, and then banged that part in, so it's a little bit more dimpled, I guess. Over here, this used to be straight. Let's see if I can get a good angle at it. Yeah, I'll just be over here. This used to be straight, went like that. I cut a little triangle out of it and then kind of brought it over and re-welded it. And I said I pushed the whole thing up. You can see it's about 1/2 inch taller, and not so much on the other side. But the pulley does fit great. I had to make this little washer thing because the pulley was sitting a little high, but that'll match up. That works great. And I need a longer belt, probably about 2 inches longer. That's what I was thinking. So now that I don't really have too much else to do, I was gonna address my brake issue. I haven't had brakes ever. Since I got this mower, brakes didn't work, just never hooked it up when I did the rear axle swap. I know that brakes do work, but just need the mechanism. So what I did is I cut a slot in here, and over here, my brake idea, I have a bolt running through a sleeve here, and this sleeve will be welded to the frame. I will cut the bolt, weld this little arm to the bolt, and then this arm will be welded to the head of the bolt. And you can see it's all bendy and it has a good hand grip and whatever. And it's gonna come up. It's gonna be welded to my frame brace. It's gonna come up all wiggly like and kind of come up and then curl over. And then I'll be able to grab it. It should go right next to the seat. I should be able to grab it, and that'll be my brakes. And it seemed like a handbrake. I mean, I talked to some people on the ATLTF chat forum, and they approved it because they're a little skeptical. And thanks to them, made my decision. I really don't have else to do, so might as well make these, and I'll update you when I have this all welded and grinded and blah blah blah.
Okay, so on the underside here, we have, it looks pretty good. I took my second spring off, which is this washer right here, and just laid one bead across the front, and it works great. I mean, I got beads there and there, and these are really solid. And as you can see, it goes forward, it goes back, and whatever, and it looks cool. I guess the handle would look cool, but you kind of look right here, and it's in the way. So I had to do some modifications. Like even getting on, it's kind of poking out. It's not a big deal, but if I even were to do it half of what it's designed, it's, you know, it's into your legs and everything, and that's no good. So I'm going to cut it at the base here, I imagine, and start 90. So I have a little whatever, and it feels really good, and it'll probably even feel better if it was off to the side a little bit more. So you know, it's a win-win. So let me get on that.
Now with the rear tire off, you can see how this whole thing works a lot better. I have some wire right here showing where the connection point is. Still don't know what I'll use. It's not really a big deal. Here's a brake arm down here. See, you move that. That moves. That moves too. And yeah, I'll move this. So it's gonna stay around here. I think that's where I feel comfortable with it. That's about halfway on the slot. And then it'll go all the way back. For braking, you pull this back and that'll brake. And yeah, so this is just, I mean, say there was a return spring holding this, and then you pull, I don't know, it's right about, should be right about there. You pull the lever, and pulls you to a stop. So yeah, really simple mechanism. I just gotta find somewhere. I'm gonna weld a stopper on the frame, maybe like a bolt right here, and I gotta find a way to put a return spring. Really shouldn't be that hard. Put a return spring right there so it stops at wherever I want, and then yeah, pretty cool. So just a couple more things to figure out, and then it should be done. Well, I'm done. And tires back on and everything. Sorry about the background noise, but as you can see underneath here, I have everything hooked up. I have an old S-hook that I bent, and the S-hook is on the other side. You can kind of see it. Just bolted through like that. I have chain because rope and wire will kind of stretch. And yeah, I have a little stopper. I have my little stopper right there I welded in. I have the spring going to the bottom mounting bolt from the axle, and I have a bolt or nut holding it on. But you can't, it doesn't go very far. which is, it's perfect, doesn't hang up or anything like that. You can still turn this just fine. Yeah, I mean, that's where it stays, and it works great. Let's your sleeve. Doesn't rattle at all. I mean, so it's, you know, easy and simple, and there's not many failure points. So I'm happy about this and happy how this came out, and once I get it built, I can't wait to test it. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and cheers.